All right, friends and neighbors, welcome back. This is another episode, and I'm sorry I've been delayed in making more of these videos and whatnot. I've been busy with work, and we've had some illnesses in the family and whatnot, and so uh, that's why things have been slow at getting back on making these videos and stuff. But anyway, I'm back, and so today I wish to discuss the things of various topics. Of course, a hot topic nowadays is the Afghanistan withdrawal and the Scarlett Johansson's lawsuit with Disney and all kinds of good stuff we got going on here today. And wish to discuss things as well as offer an opinion on all these things and offer an opinion about the movie Black Widow and the new seasons of Titans, which I have gotten into pretty regularly on HBO Max. Again, I have no sponsors as of yet, and all that, and that's totally fine. I have no idea if that'll ever happen, and that's also okay as well. I have been working a lot of hours, and I've had a lot of things going on, and so that's okay. Now, today we're going to start off with discussing the movie Black Widow, which I found to be a pretty good film, and I think that it's definitely worth anybody watching. The acting was well done. Everybody involved uh, did a very good job. I felt like Rachel Weisz. It was good to see her on the big screen again, uh, as well as the blonde-headed lady that made her first appearance in the Marvel Universe, as far as I know. She did a well job. Everybody did a good job, and definitely worth watching. I would give it probably an A or A minus or a B plus in my opinion. Uh, well done, very well done. It kind of deals with the Cold War era style of things, and a lot of people don't know because they weren't alive back then. That's how long ago the Cold War ended. But those of us of my generation and whatnot, we remember how things were and what the discussions and all that was about with the Cold War. The Soviets are going to come and get us. Oh my God, and all that stuff, which never happened. They never invaded the United States and all that. So anyway, we uh, it was a really well put together movie. I felt like. As far as the lawsuit going on with Scarlett Johansson with Disney, I tried to find a meme or a picture. As of yet, I haven't found one, but I haven't dug that hard on the internet either of a Black Widow taking on a mouse because I thought that would be hilarious. Mouse representing Disney, Black Widow obviously representing Scarlett Johansson. But I couldn't find one, and I didn't look that hard, so, and it wasn't that pressing issue for me. But I thought it'd be hilarious to put something like that on Facebook or something, and I couldn't find one. But as far as it goes, I understand people that are taking Disney's side, saying, "Well, you made these millions of dollars. How much more do you want?" And while those of us that are normal on the normal plane and work 40 plus hours a week for minimum wage on up, million of dollars doing a job, and for millions of dollars seems like an awful lot of money, and you tend to want to subconsciously judge said people because you're like, how much more do you want? However, right is right, and if it's a contractual agreement, then she should be getting paid what she was supposed to be getting paid. Now, I haven't looked at the contract, don't care. That's something for them to hash out. Uh, whose side am I on? Neutral. I really don't care. It's not going to affect my life at all. I hate to see her leave the big screen, which I'm rumors are that she's not Disney's cut ties with. I don't know if that's true or not. And also rumors say that DC has snatched her up. That may be. I don't know. Don't care. We'll see what happens from here. But if she was under contract supposed to make a certain amount, and they shied away with it with doing the Disney Plus uh, premium package or whatever it was, so that you could see it, and she didn't make as much money as she was supposed to, then okay, I see her argument. It's like me going to work and working 60 or 70 hours, which usually happens, or more, and they only pay me for 45. That's going to make me mad. Why? Because they're supposed to pay me more than what they're supposed to, or they're supposed to pay me overtime and they don't. They pay me regular and all that. But that's a story for another day. What goes on with my work? They don't misunderstand me. I have had to discuss with them when they have accidentally paid me overtime, and I'm like, look, that's not right. I mean, I didn't work overtime, and sometimes I forget about. Sundays is always on overtime pay, regardless whether you work at whether you're on over 40 hours or not. It doesn't matter. My employer pays time and a half on Sundays if you work it. So sometimes they've been like, "Look, hey, you idiot." I mean, well, they haven't said that, but they're like, "Hey, man, you work Sunday." I'm like, "Oh, I forgot about that," and and everything's great. But there have been times that they have paid me overtime and I didn't work any at all, and I'm like, "Hey, what gives?" and all that. So anyway, um, this is contractual things, and while it wasn't specified in my hiring agreement to point out any errors on their part, I feel like it's the right thing to do because, well, I mean, if I didn't work for it, I shouldn't get paid for it. Anyways, same analogy. I feel like with Miss Johansson and Disney, if she was supposed to get paid a certain amount, then and it didn't happen, then yeah, I see her point. Anyway, enough about that. The Afghanistan withdrawal. That's a hot topic. You've got people on the right wing that are screaming that it's like Vietnam, and I can kind of see their point. And you got people on the left blaming George W. Bush for this mess that we are ultimately got in, and both sides are valid. George W. Bush did plunge us into a 20-year war over there in Afghanistan, after which we toppled the the Taliban and sent them packing. Why were we still there? They said we had to train the Afghan uh, military and government, and it takes 20 years to train that then somebody's not doing something right, in my opinion. I mean, it's like going to a job and taking 20 years to learn a job. It's hard for me to understand. I'm not in the military. I never was fortunate enough to be in the military. I but I it just seems like an incredible amount of time to try to get a new nation up and running and their military properly trained. Now that we're leaving, I will give kudos to President Biden on the fact that he said he was going to get us out of there, and he has been. Now, I would like to have seen it done in a much better fashion, with namely not leaving our hardware and equipment behind and having American lives lost in the process, as well as the unfortunate and very sad situation of Afghan people being left behind to face what the Taliban is probably going to do. Now, just because I would like to think that they would be better and they learned from their mistakes in the past, but human nature tends to show that is not the case. We don't learn anything, as is apparent in human history with wars and interactions and such. So, I do applaud the president for getting us out of there finally. But at the same time, I would like to see it done in a much better fashion. Afghanistan, why is it fallen so quickly and so easily? I don't know. I'm not involved in it. I'm not in the top secret clearance group. I'm not over there. I don't know. And you can find anything you want on the internet. So I'm just, taken an approach of disregarding the hysteria on both sides. And yeah, it just sucks. I mean, it doesn't look good. It looks terrible. And I don't like American lives being lost. I understand some in war that lives are lost. And it is very unfortunate and very sad. However, a withdrawal from an area we should have left a long time ago, and why we weren't why it wasn't done, I don't know. But still, you know, things are happening this way, and I would rather it wasn't happening like this. Now, I will say that I do respect and I do applaud the men and women of our great military that have been over there. Some people have been over there more than once. Some people have been over there and never been back. And I want to tell those folks that should they ever see this video, thank you for your service. I try whenever I see a man or woman in uniform or somebody with a sticker, a veteran sticker on their car, or wearing a hat or something to identify them as a veteran, to stop and thank them for their service and sacrifice. Most of the time, they are, I'm not ashamed, that's not the word I'm looking for, but they are humbled. Yes, the humbled, that's the word I'm looking for, by the thanks. And they are appreciative that somebody appreciates what they did and such. But um, it wasn't in vain. It might seem like it now that we're leaving, and we went in there to and we routed the Taliban. Now we're leaving, and they've done took over the nation again. And what was it all for? Be that as it may, only the higher powers are going to understand and know what really has been going on behind the scenes, what this was really all about. However, I will say to you, thank you for what you've done and what you endured over there. Um, I don't want to forget, just like the people, 9/11 is coming up very soon, and the policemen, firefighters, volunteers, uh, all those people, I don't want them to think they have been forgotten. It's easy to get caught up in things and events, life in general, and to forget some things. But I want you to know, as of right now, you are remembered, and we appreciate what you did. Yeah, it's been a long time since it happened. I remember exactly what happened on 9/11. I was working night shift at that time, and my mom, I lived with my mom at that time, and she came in and woke me up and told me that the United States was under attack. And I remember I hadn't even fully sat up in bed, and I was running through a mental list of our enemies who would attack us. I was thinking of like an invasion, and I won't forget that day and seeing the towers fall and whatnot. So, and then the amazing heroism of people from all across the country taking vacation weeks, days, jumping on a vehicle or a bus or some airplane, something, and going to New York to help look for survivors, to help clean up what had happened. And that is amazing. September the 12th was one of the amazing days in my life. Democrats, Republicans, liberal, conservatives, moderates, independents, it didn't matter. We were Americans that day. And we were ready to whoop anybody that wanted to start a business with us. And it was a wonderful time. You saw so many American flags, so much national pride. And I miss that. Not the tragedy, but the spirit of brotherhood and sisterhood, if you will. Being Americans, we were Americans, coast to coast, and territories, and our uh, extended friends in Alaska and Hawaii, our brothers and sisters there. we were Americans, and it was great to be an American family. Yeah, we didn't agree, but a Democrat and a Republican worked side by side to get people out of the rubble. Conservatives and liberals were together, ready, had each other's back, ready to whoop anybody that was going to threaten us. It was great. I remember my own dander getting up, and I considered briefly joining the military. At that time, I was extremely out of shape, as I am now, and I knew I would have a long road, and I actually got an exercise equipment because I wanted to get in shape before I would join up, and I just never got in shape and never joined up. But anyway, that's a flaw on me. Anyway, so I'm rambling here, uh, but yes, I do remember that. And the thing of it is, we have to understand and embrace the fact. I hope we learned something from Vietnam. Soldiers were treated terribly, and they were under orders. Now, that doesn't absolve any person from committing a war crime. I understand that, but in a lot of cases, they were under orders to do some things that isn't very pleasant, and um, that falls on the leaders and commanders of these units. And I do sympathize with those that come back and struggle with I want to say PTSD or yeah, post traumatic stress, whatever. I'm butchering the phrase, but anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. Uh, I sympathize with those people because I cannot imagine what they have endured, what they have seen, what they have done, what they were made to do. And in the military, we all know, or if you don't understand, the way it works is you unquestioningly follow orders. You just do it because you're told to. And you're not allowed to think for yourself. You're not. You're just supposed to do it because you're told. And in a lot of cases, a lot of soldiers are scarred and forever changed because they followed orders. They did what they were trained to do, and the repercussions they still have to live with the deed that they did, even though they were following orders. And I sympathize with our men and women in uniform. It's not an easy road. I haven't done it myself. I do have friends that were in the army. Uh, in Kentucky, there's a lot of in the area in which I live. A lot of people are in the army branch of the military, and I think a lot of those people. And a friend of mine, rest his soul, he was part of the hazmat unit for the army, and he didn't perish in combat. He had a heart attack at a very young age. I believe he was 25, and I miss him every single day. And I don't understand why he was taken, but I guess it was his time to go. And while that doesn't make the sorrow and the grief any less, I severely miss him, and I wish he was here, but that wasn't my call. Anyway, I don't mean to keep rambling on, and I'm not trying to drag out an episode with nothing to say. I just want to talk to you from my heart, as I usually try to discuss things and talk to you from my heart and offer my own independent opinion on these things. And anyway, I guess I want to close this episode with simply saying, God bless you and God bless America. And that I love the United States. I do love America. And while I might not always agree with my brothers and sisters, you're still my brothers and sisters. And we still are to love each other and have each other's back and fight for one another. Uh, so, anyway, without any more uh, prolonging of this episode, I want to say, wish you a very fond farewell. for now, and hopefully it won't take me as long a time to make another video. Stay great. You are wonderful. You are precious. And you do matter. And so does your opinion. Bye for now.